All right, this is my tutorial on edge banding. What it is, how to use it, how I use it anyhow. Basically, edge banding is material put on the edge of typically plywood to hide the layers of wood. So plywood is multiple thin layers of wood or plies of wood on top of each other glued together. This specifically is a 3/4 inch hardwood. It's a red oak plywood that I'm using for the dog crate project. I'm going to be edge banding two sides that will be exposed, which will give it a more finished look rather than seeing the ply. So when you go to stain plywood on the edge, it doesn't stain well. Plywood in general doesn't really stain well. The edges always stain much darker than the face of the plywood. So by using the edge banding on the edge, I'm going to alleviate that. It does stain fairly nicely. So it's a really good solution. Basically, I'm gonna cut off a piece, oversized piece. These are flush cut snips I grabbed on Amazon. I just keep this roll taped up, which you can get this at any Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, any woodworking store. I believe I got this on Amazon though. So you need the actual edge banding. You need an iron. Not sure if you can see this or not. I got my iron heating up. This is the actual iron we use in my house. It's not gonna mess it up or anything like that. And you also don't really need, but this is a trimmer. It's by Fast Cap. It's like a cheap Amazon thing. After it's on, you'll slide along the edge to trim it. So this piece is wider than 3/4 of an inch. I'm gonna lay it on where I want it to go. Make sure it's covering up both sides. And yeah, that looks good to me. So basically all you're doing, there's glue already on the back of it. Not all of it comes like that. You have to, other products, you have to add the glue yourself. I like this one because I'm literally just heating it up with the iron and it's good to go. So I just start on one end and work my way down. Pretty simple. Make sure it's lined up here. Here it is. I have my iron on the hottest setting, and that will start to melt the glue. And you can move it a little bit as you go, but not too much. And there's a really short window once it is heated up, because once it's heated and dries, you don't want it to move or fall off. And this stuff's pretty good. Yeah, see, it's already locked in. I can't move it now. So make sure as you're doing this, when you do this, you're lining it up very quickly after you heat it, and only go a little bit at a time, so you can make adjustments along the way. They sell rollers that you can use to sort of press this down. I've never really found that necessary. But if you want to get one of those, you can. You can really just use your hands. So that's it. It's really simple. Definitely worth a try. It's relatively inexpensive. They actually make tools that apply edge banding. If you're doing a lot of it, you can go that route too. I think that's a little overkill just based on how little I use this. Okay, so I have it where I want it. Basically, it's stuck on there. I'm not gonna try to peel it off because it won't come off. But I'm gonna go over one more time to make sure all the glue is melted, especially on the ends. And I'm gonna come over on the end a little bit there, and then just push down. And it's working perfectly. The ends sometimes are tricky and they don't want to stick, but these are sticking really well. I'm going to use my flush cut snips. Snip the end there on both sides. Perfect. And then this tool, whoops. This tool I mentioned earlier, it has little razor blades inside. You can't see, I can't really even see it, but I know there are razor blades inside, and you're slotting this, it adjusts, so I squeeze it. There's like a spring in there, so I squeeze it to cut it. And I wait, you want to wait until after it's for sure on there. It's quick, it dries really quick, so it's not gonna go anywhere. And then you sort of just slot it in that, and then as you drive this, it trims it perfectly. So it's very, very little bit that needed to even be trimmed, but now it's perfect. Perfectly on there. I'm gonna go back the other way just for good measure. Looks good. Actually, there's a piece sticking out here that I don't like. Perfect. You can actually sand this too. Don't really sand plywood, but if you wanted, you could sand it to make sure it's perfectly even. Looks good. That's it. Now I just do that on the other side.